that someone knows my name and wants to challenge me. And siguro like what Franco and Doc Sixto said, may kaba and excitement. And while I really respect the guy who is willing to go with me, ang mindset ko is, whether I trained for it or not, is I hope you fucking know what you're getting into, because when I get there, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to episode number 5 of Pinoy Martial Arts Mastermind. And now we are rejoined by our long-lost brothers, Franco and Alfred. And of course, we have
They woke up this time, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, this time they woke up because it's actually nighttime. So we have Sixto as well, and myself, Dax. No, so say hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so now we're at episode 5, and our topic for today, or for this video, is sparring, challenges, and street fights in martial arts. No? So, ano ba yun? No? So, question number 1. Okay, is there a need to fight? Very general question, but take it as you will. No?
Fighting in the context, okay? In the context of, let's say, sparring in-house, for me, yes. Unless you test what you know, there will always be a question mark on your ability. But mind you, my point is you don't need to kill each other. Although injuries may happen sometimes, for me, it's still necessary that you fight, at least in a sparring sense, so you can test yourself and test your knowledge.
Franco, anong take mo doon? What is your take on that?
Fighting in to fight, or fighting in the context of self-defense when we're talking about real life situations is of course necessary. So in order to survive any ordeal or get yourself out of compromising positions, fighting is gonna be hindi na siya essential requirement na siya. Now in terms of competition and training, sparring and joining competitions is also important for me. I share the same sentiment with Doc Sixto na in order to know if what you're learning is effective or if it will actually work, you have to pressure test it. You have to test it against not just training partners. You have to test it against resisting and reacting opponents. So with that regard, sparring and fighting in general is very, very important. It's an essential part of training and development.
So, Alfred, what is your take on that? Is there a need to fight when you practice martial arts?
Well, I don't think you need to be going out looking for a fight. But if someone gives you a reason to fight, then, you better be prepared. So, as they say, pressure creates diamonds. The only way you're going to learn how you're going to react to these things is if you allow yourself to be put in such situations. So, if there's a chance to spar during training, you take it, just so you know how it feels like. If there's a chance to compete and you're healthy enough to join, sometimes even when you're not healthy enough to join, go ahead and try it out, so that you know how to react, you know how it feels like, because it's very different. The Sixto calls them gym champions. There are a lot of gym champions. When you put them in situations where there's pressure, they wilt. Right. Because they're not used to it. So you have to become comfortable with pressure.
Right. Ako kasi personally, I don't really engage in fights outside. I'm more of a lover than a fighter.
You don't?
Anyway,
Oh, sorry.
anyway,
Okay.
no,
Don't.
but
That's.
otherwise.
no, it's
I'll drink to that.
but
Okay.
I will refer more to sparring, I guess, no, in this sense.
Bullshit.
In this sense, wherein I feel that it is very essential, no, because sparring in training gives you that it helps you develop that proper mindset, no, the how to handle adrenaline and all of that, no. And if you just train with compliant partners, no, na hindi lumalaban, they don't fight back, then it's very hard to develop, so at least in the right direction, no? So next question. So okay, so we all agree that okay, there is a need. Medyo iba-iba lang yung ating take on it, but we all agree that there is a need to fight. Do you find fun in fighting?
Yeah.
Sige, Sixto, simulan mo, Sixto. Explain mo yan. Ang ganda ng reaction mo eh. Sige, explain.
Kasi like before, no, again, I was with Professor Albi way back 1998. It was an artist convention or conference, 2 weeks, haba ah. So we fought guys who were one head taller, probably 20, 30 pounds heavier. And considering the night before, I was with Professor Alvin. Well, you know what that means, diba? You don't sleep the night before. So anyway, it was the last day of this conference or seminar. And we didn't know we were supposed to spar. I did not sleep. And I was just told, okay, you fight. I fought. I do not even remember what I did. Ang nangyari lang, naalala ko, I was with this guy. He was the Piketitirsha head of Europe during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up, naka-armbar ako sa kanya. I have that picture. I don't remember. So after the fight, syempre mas masaya if you win.
Mm.
But for me, winning is not necessary. Basta pumayag ka lumaban. If you're willing to fight, give it a go. Yun. You feel good. There's an adrenaline dump. Diba, Franco, I'm sure in tournaments, nararamdaman mo yun. Diba? Tapos kwento ko isa pa, yung some people nga, basta ako kasi I respect people who are willing to fight and give a good fight. You don't really have to win. It's like watching a UFC fight, a good fight, and your favorite fighter or competitor does not win. Pero ang ganda ng laro matutuwa ka So again, for me, it's fun to do it. It's fun to watch it.
Yeah.
Go, Franco.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it in the sense na it's a good way to gauge where you are in terms of your training and your development. Tapos, the whole experience, you're not after the result. Or at least in my perspective, you're not after the results. You're after the process. It's a good, and ako rin, like through the years from the progression of learning martial arts, naisip ko na lang na it's not really how do I put this? Parang it's a good ego check. Kasi a lot of the reasons why people like or dislike fighting is because of the damage or the effect it has on their egos. There are a lot of people who will not spar or who will not go to competitions or who will be afraid not because kasi takot sila matalo. So ako, the mere fact that I enjoy going to competitions is because I enjoy the process of doing it. I enjoy the process of going into a fight, and it's a good way for me to know na okay, wala akong ego, nandun pa ako sa mentality na I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So it benefits you talaga. It benefits you if you enjoy and yung mindset na lang na yun. You have to enjoy and learn the process. Hindi yung your act. I mean, it's not bad to want to win, pero tulad ng sinabi ni Sixto like yung huling UFC si Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Gaethje won, but Tony Ferguson didn't
Ganda
really
nun.
lose any fans kasi
Ganda nun,
he
pare.
fought, di ba? He fought, di ba?
That was a good
I
fight.
mean,
That
was a good fight, and everyone knew that they gave it their all. So it's either when you lose, it's not losing anything. You actually gain respect from that.
Alfred, your take?
I'm weird with winning eh. Whether it's in Arnis, Jiu-Jitsu, Sarian, it's not winning that I really enjoy. I enjoy knowing that I can rise to the occasion. That's what I really enjoy. Especially when I feel and I know that people watching feel that I don't have any chance of winning. And then whether I win or I don't, but I feel like I've risen to the occasion. That's what I really enjoy about it. Because I've never felt I'm really good. So when I prove to myself that I belong there with that group of people or at that stage, that's the part that I enjoy.
Yan yung pinaka-importante Yan yung pinaka-importante, like the whole feeling of rising to the occasion. Kasi whether you do it in the gym or in the tournament, you'll go home or you'll leave that venue knowing that you did something, you achieved something. Iba yun eh. Iba yung internal victory levels nun. Kasi you know for yourself na when you look in the mirror, alam mo, lalaban ka. It's a very huge factor for people.
Right.
I'd like to add, it makes me feel good. Kunyari may technique ka na lumabas. It's something that you've been practicing and you made it work. Ibang sarap. Yung,
yeah.
You
actually pulled it off. You actually pulled it off.
Yes.
Ako parang I enjoy the anticipation. Like kunyari, for example, ako, going back to a sparring situation, no? Like if it's announced, usually it's announced like, oh, everybody, we're going to do full contact sparring like next week. Go leading into that, there's this parang, I can't sleep. There's excitement. You can't sleep. You can't wait for that day. Which is really, if you look at it from a layman's standpoint, parang my God, these guys are crazy. They're looking forward to the time when they beat each other up. No, there's this one particular instance. Sixto yung Duelo 1, no, which Alfred eventually won, no?
Dax, can you explain what Duelo is?
Okay, Duelo is it started as an in-house tournament of the members of Carlos Hermanos, and the bouts, no, were dos manos, meaning long sticks, using two hands, no. Kumbaga, if I may, it's like probably similar to probably yung kendo or samurai,
medieval
whatever,
sword
no?
fights.
Parang ganon, yeah, long sticks, no, which is not very common, no, because we're used to in Arnis and Cali, we're used to the short sticks, no, the bastons, the solo baston. This is a two-handed stick, and we were bashing each other's heads with it. And there was another group that was witnessing it. So there was another group who wanted to watch, no? And their comment was, one of these visitors, no, asked Sixto while somebody was doing their thing, sparring. Sabi, Sixto, may problema yata itong mga bata mo kasi bakit pag may tinatamaan sa ulo, nagtatawanan? That was the reaction that people were giving. It wasn't like, they weren't like, oh yeah, fight. It was like more, people were actually laughing, even the people who were getting hit, when they get hit, they laugh. It was very, and then I guess that was the fun in it, no.
Sing it now, Dax.
Yeah,
that guy was a national team player ng Arnis. FYI.
And he couldn't understand. He didn't understand where this joy was coming from, no. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. We'll move on to our next question, no. Okay.
Pero yan, Dax, yung like to add to that point, yung the mere fact na sinabi ni Sixto nun, okay, next week, diba? So for a guy like you to anticipate that, there are a group of people who will find excuses not to join that.
Hey.
Okay.
Tandaan mo, there will always be, kasi ito yun that's the thing about that alone differentiates people in terms of their ego levels and what they're really made of.
Right.
Kasi
Right.
a lot of those things, like we're saying, yeah, it's not just in, I think it happens in all martial arts, as in sasabihin, next week full contact sparring tayo, or next week na yung tournament. There
Ay,
are
nako.
people who will anticipate and say, can't wait, I'm so excited, I'm happy, diba? They're after the entire
Suddenly they have a stomach ache.
Oh,
Suddenly
diba? Then, but
suddenly
there are
their pussy
people,
hurts.
No, but
diba? And it happens. There
Ay.
are people who will say, okay, this day, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. I'm so badass and I'm
Okay.
going to self-promote. Pero when sparring day comes, biglang, may work ako, or biglang
Okay.
injure ako.
LBM.
Ito, another story. This happened sa old Sarian Gym in BF Homes. Isa sa mga kasama namin sa Ernest dati, bagitin ko na pangalan. He was my ex-roommate, si Roth. Okay, siya yung malaki sa amin kami yung original Calitrons. Sabi niya, hey Sixto, dali mo yung headgear, bring the headgear, and I will challenge Alvin. Blah, 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 blah. Ako naman, sure. Dinala ko yung headgear. I brought the headgear, handguards. Okay, punta ako ng gym. Alvin, may lalaban sa'yo. Kasi Alvin game, di ba?
Oh.
Okay, dumating si Roth. Roth, labanan mo na. Sixto galing ako aksidente. Sakit ng katawan ko Oh my God. 1 week sinabi niya, I'll beat him up. Lalabanan ko siya. Blah, blah. You know what happened? Ako lumabang kay Alvin.
Ayun.
We were using
diba?
foams.
And those are very small, diba? And that, I mean, I think that was, so doon rin masasabi na walang pinagbago masyado yung events noon, and na-magnify lang siya ngayon. Diba? Na-magnify lang siya ngayon, especially with social media. A lot of people will post a lot of shit on social media, pero when the day comes that they have to be accountable for their words, wala. They're not, diba? So I think that's why I totally agree with this quote by Gary Vaynerchuk na sabi niya, the internet exposes everyone. Diba? Kasi yun you can post whatever you want on social media, pero the day of reckoning, kumbaga, okay, you have to back up your words, biglang all of a sudden, bigla kang, alam mo yun, lahat na ata ng injuries lahat ng sudden injuries narinig ko na, lahat.
Ako naman, may experience naman ako, na opposite naman, like going back to the Carlos Hermanos group, yung group ni Sixto. When I started training with them, it was just me, and then Sixto and Alfred. That was it. I would see them every time I train. Silang dalawa yung gumugulpi sa akin. And then sabi nila, okay, you will have your, I think 2 or 3 months into my training, they said, okay, you will experience your first full contact sparring match with live sticks and minimal armor. Okay? So, okay, sige, fine. So, I was expecting, kaming tatlo lang yung lalabas, no? Pucha, pagdating ng araw na yun, there were like 10 other guys whom I've never met, ready to go. Apparently, they were like these old students who haven't practiced for a long time. But when it was announced that there was going to be full sparring, my God, they were like, pare, pila. Talagang wow, sabi ko, medyo iba to, diba? So that's like the flip side. I guess it's the mindset also. If you're used to, I guess it's a result of the sparring and all of that. If you're exposed to that, then you actually look for it because you know that it's training.
Beneficial.
It's beneficial, and it's an essential part of your development, no? Because you want to see where you are, no? So anyway, moving on. Our next question. Ito, parang may laman na naman to. Si Sixto kasi gumagawa ng mga questions natin eh. So lahat may laman. How does it feel to be challenged? Okay, kasi there's fighting, di ba? So in fighting, there will be challenges, no? Kasi we are in the fighting arts, we are in the fighting business. So people will want to test you. So and when people call you out and they challenge you, how do you react to that? What is the initial feeling that you get when somebody challenges you? Franco, ikaw muna.
It's it's 80% excitement, 20% na kaba. It's exciting kasi it's exciting in the sense na okay, someone calls you out. So number one, okay, you're worth calling out. You're worth calling out. You're worth their time. Second, so this is how I approach challenges and gym challenges and call outs before. It's like I will always assume that guy is better than me. I'll always assume that guy is better than me. Kasi people who call out people have this confidence na I can beat this guy. Kasi you wouldn't really call out someone na either equal footing kayo or alam mong matatalo ka. You'll always, that's just how I approach it. People will always call out people na they think they can beat easily. So when people call me out, I always expect them to be better than me, which would give me the motivation to train hard. And then the moment that I beat them, diba, it's validation for me, and they go home a little bit more embarrassed about themselves, diba? They'll probably regret the decision they made na kinall out nila ako. And ako naman sanay, I mean, growing up in the industry, I've always been used to getting called out because it's so easy to pick on me. I mean, I'm small.
Pogi pa.
I'm small,
Pogi pa.
diba? I'm the smallest guy.
Sikat pa.
Influencer pa.
I'm the smallest guy, one of the smallest guy, diba? And up until now, diba? Up until now, there's every time I teach class, there's a visitor from another country. He's probably a blue belt. He's large. You always, like, during rolling or sparring, they'll be like, hey, can I go with you? Can I go with you? Kasi syempre, if there's this 6'2" white blue belt, diba, that visits the gym and he beats me up na, diba, I'm a brown boy na black belt, diba? Big ego boost sa kanila yon. And that always happens. And so, I don't know, I'm so used to it na. Diba? Pero ano siya, yun yung breakdown nun eh. I always, and yun din, we're going back to what Alfred said. It will always be a good reminder for me na parang, okay, do I rise up to this occasion? Na parang, kasi you could easily say, no, I'm a black belt. I can refuse you. Pero hindi eh. I wasn't brought up in that way. I mean, that's not the Sarian or the Deftak way of doing things. Eh. It's, okay, someone challenges you, you rise up to the occasion. Diba? You defend your gym. You defend your house.
Right.
Diba? If he beats you, then at least you went down, diba? You went down fighting. Hindi yung, diba? Hindi tulad ng iba na no, I outrank you. You can't force me to go against you. Kasi there are schools that do that, diba? Pero at least I'm very proud of the lineage that I have, that we don't advocate that attitude.
Sixto, anong take mo dyan?
Ako?
How does it feel when you get challenged?
Okay. Ako, every time until now, kahit beginner, may fear pa rin. I never, ever underestimate my opponent. I would call him or her an opponent. Ilang beses na rin eh. Can I test you? Can we try this? Again, fear, kaba. And una, medyo naiinis ako. Teka, ba't ako gusto ka bunin ito? Pero later, marirealize mo na the reason that they're challenging you kasi
pagdagdag sa street cred daw nila yun eh.
And actually they think you're good. They think you're good. Pero to be frank, it's lacking in FMA. A lot of FMA guys, lalo na kapag nasa guru o master level na, they don't fight anymore. They don't spar. Kahit ako naman in my case, you don't have to kill each other. Pero man technical sparring lang. Diba? There's such a thing as technical sparring. You don't have to kill each other or injure each other. The thing is, dapat willing ka. Subukan mo lang, diba? For sure, you will learn something. And the thing is, when you fight beginners, diba, Franco? They fight in a different way.
Pero Doc, I have a question pala when it comes to, kasi when we say challenges,
in-house.
Hindi ba natin pwedeng isama yung intent? Kasi there are people who will ask you to spar with them because they want to learn, and then there are people who will ask you to spar with them because they want to they want to earn street cred points, or they want to show off, or alam mo yon, yung gusto nilang meron silang gustong patunayan. Merong ganun
Okay.
kasi. So
Okay,
feeling ko sige, go doc. I mean, that's it.
I have this rule. Kapag in-house naman, let's say, same club, ganon, testing lang naman yan, gusto ko subukan, yan okay lang yun. But if it's a guy from a different club, goes to your gym, challenges you, sa akin all out yan eh. Kasi kung kinontrol mo sarili mo, tapos siya, hindi niya plano gawin yun, may injure ka. You will get injured. I read in an old Black Belt magazine article. You younger guys don't know that magazine anymore. Yun ang sikat na magazine dati. Black Belt magazine and Inside Kung Fu. There was a rule there. There was this camp.
Pinapanganak niyan eh. Lumabas yung Black Belt magazine.
Actually, there was a guy there. He was a campo guy. Ang rule niya, basta hinahamon siya, pwede niya hindi sundan ng rules eh. Kasi, again, that's his house. That's his gym. There's this unwritten rule, kapag bumisita ka sa gym ng iba, allowed yung gym owner na to go beyond what you talked about.
Yeah.
It's a given eh. It's a given. Saka, again, pinagbigyan mo eh, di ba? So, dapat may ano na ganun, may out ka na ganun.
Yep.
Anyway, that's a personal belief. It's a personal belief.
Ito namang palaging na-challenge, Alfred. Ano masasabi ka? How do you feel whenever you are challenged?
Like Doc said like for example, sa jiu-jitsu, I think one of the reasons why if you come from jiu-jitsu, then you go to FMA, well, a group like Sixtos, hindi ka masyadong nadja-jar. It's because, every day that we train, we spar and someone asks you to roll with them. So, hindi na siya as surprising if it's like Sixtos group is filled with bullies. Like nung baguhan ako, Nico Reyes would challenge me and you can see on his face the only intent is to try to hurt me. Yun lang ang gusto niya gawin sa akin. Hindi siya concerning for me. Okay lang sa akin kasi sanay ako dun. Now, if it's from a different gym, it's quite weird because I'm not as visible as Sixto or Dax. And then I'm a bit surprised that someone knows my name and wants to challenge me. And siguro like what Franco and Doc Sixto said, may kaba and excitement. And while I really respect the guy who is willing to go with me, ang mindset ko is, whether I trained for it or not, is I hope you fucking know what you're getting into because when I get there, I'm gonna go for it. Kasi, hindi ko kasi alam kung ano yung capabilities mo eh. I don't scout around other FMA practitioners. So I'm gonna assume mamaw ka. So that's how I go into it. Kasi before you get, maybe after 20-30 seconds, you start getting the level of the guy that you're with or ano ba talaga yung intent niya. But before that, di mo naman alam yun eh. So that's how I feel right before the spar. Like siguro the anticipation, the nervous energy. And then right before that, it's just in my head. It's fuck you. We're now here. So gusto mo to eh. We will play.
Right.
And I say that with all respect to people I've sparred. It's not them that I'm disrespecting. It's just internally me. That's how I condition my mind. I have to go for it. Because
absolutely
walang level.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's why you have to spar. That's what sparring develops. The flicking of the switch, kumbaga.
Right.
Na parang when before everything, you're calm and controlled. Tapos, when time starts or when it's go time, you have to be at a mode wherein you're prepared to do everything. diba?
Right.
So,
I'd like to ask you guys, kasi sa akin, in my case, when I spar or fight, reflex na lang lahat eh. Sometimes I don't even remember what I did. Yung concept na, akala ko corny dati eh, yung think of zero. Dapat
Think of
zen ka.
nothing. Yeah, think of nothing.
Actually, nangyayari sa akin yun eh. Yung training ko talaga nag-kick in, yung muscle memory talaga. Does it happen to you guys?
All the time.
When I look at the videos, when we do the videos and then we watch the sparring, it's like, wow, I did that. Parang there's this particular move na parang, wow, I actually thought of doing that. But when you're there, you don't really think about it, and it just comes out. No? And that comes with constant training. Sorry, Franco, sige tuloy. Sorry.
There you go. At ano yan eh, tawag dito, it's the reason why you do repetitions. It's the reason why you do repetitions. It's the reason why you do drilling. It's the reason why you do situational sparring. Kasi what you're actually building is muscle memory. You're exercising your nervous system. You're introducing stimulus to your fascial systems. So, kumbaga, when it's time to compete or when it's time to spar, your instincts will kick in automatically. So, hindi na siya nagiging recital, nagiging expression na siya. So, I think a lot of the really good fighters from all martial arts, from boxing to Muay Thai, the really great ones, if you watch them, the sequences just come out. Pero when people say it's talent, I kind of disagree with them. Kasi if you watch how they train, they've been practicing those sequences for the longest time.
Right.
Diba? So now, it's all about, and this is what I teach during my classes, na parang I want you guys to drill a certain move to a point wherein you can do this while you're asleep. Kasi, that's when instinct kicks in, mas mabilis yung timing. Mas mabilis yung execution. Pag mas mabilis yung execution na timing, you won't give enough time for your opponents to react. As in, magugulat na lang sila nandun. They're in a very bad position.
Right. Ako going back to that question of challenges. No, how do you feel when you're challenged? It's funny because in the few times that I am challenged,
a few times.
In the few times in a week that I'm challenged.
2 times in 1 week, yeah.
2 times in 1 week.
I'm sorry, in one weekend pala. In one weekend.
Diba sinabihan kita, enough? Enough.
Pare, ikaw, pati si Scott nagsabi. Anyway, what I feel is whenever I do get challenged, is actually there's strangely enough, there's a release of pressure. Kasi ako yung china-challenge. So it's not the burden of winning. It's not on me. It's on you or the people or the person who challenged you. Kasi para sa akin, I don't challenge it. So if I lose, it was on your terms. That's why it was very foolish. But then, most of the time when these things happen, it's all the conditions of the challenger, which should be the opposite. Well, if you're the challenger, you should bow to the conditions of the person you're challenging, right? Hindi ikaw yung magdidikta. So it's funny because they dictate everything, and with every item that they dictate, parang there's a load that lifts from me. Okay, you ask for this, okay, that's less load for me. You ask for this, there's less load for me. So when I go in there are no expectations on my part because you dictated everything. So it's really up to you. If you lose, then that's on you. If you win, because you dictated everything, wala akong magagawa. But yeah, it's that. It's an alleviation of pressure. No, that's at least that's what I feel. Anyway, ano ba yung sunod natin? So we were challenged. Okay, and then how does it feel when you win?
Siyempre masaya.
Gawin natin ganito. Sige, para interesting.
Siyempre masaya.
How do you feel when you win or when you lose? No? Which weighs more for you? No? Winning or losing? Or both. Sige, Franco, anong take mo dyan?
Siyempre, when you win, you're happy.
Of course.
It's whether it's just sparring or tournament style or tournament setting, I'm very happy when I win, but at the same time, I'm relieved. I feel this sense of relief na, okay,
Relief.
finally that, di ba, na it's over, it's done. Di ba? You don't have to, you've finished that process of agony. That process of uncertainty. Kasi while you're still in it, di ba, everything is uncertain to a point wherein you could win or you could lose. So at least when it's done and over with, di ba, you knocked out the guy, you submitted the guy, or you won by points. Di ba, there's this feeling of relief that it's over. And then when your hands are raised, di ba, you're automatically happy. Part and parcel yon. Now when it comes to losing, dati when I lost, I took it to heart na parang you'll feel inadequate, you'd feel na syempre it sucks kasi you prepared, you trained, you sacrificed, you cut weight, then you lose. Initially, like white blue belt days, I was syempre you feel really really bad, and then you want to bounce back immediately. Then later on, when I realized na you could join as many tournaments as you can, there will always be a next one. There will always be an opportunity to get back. There's always a chance to redeem yourselves. So now, every time that I lose, it's just I just tell myself na parang it's not your day today. Diba? You missed a few steps. You didn't. It's not a measure of your preparation na parang you weren't prepared enough. Yes, you were prepared. It just so happens na parang yun, the stars didn't align, diba? You're off yung timing mo, and the guy probably woke up feeling much better than you, so you take it in stride na. I mean, my journey was like that, from taking it to heart to accepting it right away. Ngayon, pag natalo ko, natalo ko. Hindi na ako yung hindi ako tulad ng ibang tao na, and it still happens, and parang I see people when they're frustrated or when they lose, as in sa tournaments nangyayari to, so, nagsisipa ng Coleman, nagsisipa ng gamit, binabato yung, di ba? Then their partners are trying to comfort them. Doon ako minsan naawa sa mga asawa at sa mga girlfriend, parang they're trying to pacify them, tapos naaway pa nila. I'm like, dude, it's one match, di ba? There's another one in the next few months, di ba? Bawi ka doon. Pero it happens. I think that process for me allowed me to, I mean, maturity was much fast. I mean, mas madali yung, wala na ako sa coping, nandun na ako agad sa acceptance.
Right.
And it allowed me to get rid of emotional baggage. I would go back to the gym thinking na parang, okay, tapos na yon. So, next goal ko, next tournament, bawi ako doon. Diba? Kasi, I mean, when people ask me, galing-galing mo, sabi ko, hindi ako magaling. It just so happens marami lang akong sinalihan. Hindi ako magaling. Marami lang akong sinalihan.
Sixto, winning and losing.
When we started kasi full contact, way back 1994 in Sticks. Ang nangyari nun, we first did it in Jubilos Baños. I was with John Malihan with some first students. Actually, we didn't care. Pero nung nalaman ng iba yun, we had other guys makasama namin training. Brother ni Dog Marcaida, who was RJ Marcaida. Amongst us, he was actually the best. And wala, biglang yaya lang eh. Ako, oo eh. Full sparring eh. Sira yung ribs ko, binalimbag ako. Actually, talo ako. It's on video. It's somewhere on YouTube. Sa akin, syempre, it makes you think, naging analytical ka. Ano ba ginawa kong mali? So, you study it, tapos what do you need to change in your training? Ano ba dapat? Tapos, anyways, si RJ yun, no? A week later, si Alvin, kaibigan na kami nun eh. Tinawagan naman ako. Sige, so can we fight? Nilalagdat pa ako. Sige, halika, daan ng bahay. Ayan na naman, usapan 2 minutes. Ang timer was Alvin's driver. Nako, sinabihan niya yung driver hanggang di ako naupakan o pipigilan yung timer. Umabot ka ng 6 minutes. Yung video, nasa ilalim ako, stick. hinahampas niya sa leeg ko. Nakamount siya hinahampas niya sa leeg ko sa mukha ko. Talo na naman. Sa cases na ganyan, kapag kaibigan mo naman, no, or non-competitive, sa akin, attitude is learning eh. Wala, I wanted to learn.
Right.
So, yun ang atin. Actually, may konting lungkot na. Pero, when you win, yun ang masaya. Feeling mo, UFC champion ka.
Alfred, ikaw naman. Although you seldom lose, I'm sure meron ka ring take dyan.
No,
Winning and losing.
If you train jiu-jitsu, you lose every day. So that's what I like about jiu-jitsu. Seldom at least sa team namin, seldom ang iyakin dyan pag natatalo. Because, I went up along with Franco and everyone else who were around us were very talented. That it was very seldom that you go to the gym and you don't get beat up the day you're in the gym. So, with losing, wala akong masyadong hang-ups dyan. I grew up with the thought that there's always someone better than you. And the only thing you can do is try to get better the next time. Yun lang. You just train more. But for winning, I can't say it's happy. It's more I'm relieved, but more of I'm grateful that I did not let my instructor and my teammates down. Ganun yung pakiramdam ko.
Right.
Like you were there with me when, went to UP for the challenge.
Yes.
I know for a fact that I was not able to actually train and do my part to train as much as I could for that challenge. Pero we said yes. And, we're not going to go back on that word. So I went, and you went along with me. And then after it was done, alam ko naman sa sarili ko kung ano yung result if wala kaming headgear. I was grateful because I know I did Sixto right, I did you right. But I can't say I'm happy because I also feel for the other guy.
Yes.
Dalawa naman kami dun eh. It took two of us to make that thing happen. So, when someone wins, another guy loses. And as madrama as it sounds, I always feel for the other guy also.
Because there's mutual respect. I mean, you guys showed up. You actually showed up. And you both know, of course, maybe one more than the other, but you both knew what you were going to get into. It wasn't going to be, all hugs and kisses, diba?
For whatever reason that, that guy who I respect challenged me. Kung ano man yung reason niya, wala na akong pakialam dun eh. I respect him for going there. And, unfortunately, I have to do my thing.
Right.
And...
Alfred is so enlightened,
Ganun talaga eh. Kaya asset ako sa grupo natin. Kasi...
No, pero ang next is, gusto ko malaman si Dax.
Ibang agad din pagkatapos eh. Andun ako eh.
Naka-ready rin may template na siya nung victory post. Victory post.
UFC champion ba?
Ako pag whenever you would consider winning, madaldal ako eh. Mayabang ako pagkasabi ko sa lahat eh. Pero,
hindi ka naman manalo eh. Kahit talo, mayabang ka pa.
Kahit kung matalo, nagpo-protest ako.
Pag natalo.
Pag natalo, nagpo-protesta.
Pero actually, it's, Sixto and Alfred, no, they have been my mentors since the beginning. And si Alfred said something in particular kasi in the beginning, I was always so frustrated with the sparring matches because, I would go up against, it was just the two of them who would go against me. And of course, I would get beaten really badly. And they always tell me, okay lang yan, you're learning, you're starting. And then, you have people like si Fernand Imperial who would come, who's also very skilled, no?
Slaven.
Di ba? Slaven, sinapak ako, di ba? So, it's very demoralizing. It's very demoralizing. But the thing is, what really changed my mindset in fighting was that what Alfred told me. He said, don't when you go into a fight, you expect to get hit, you expect to get hurt. Don't be surprised when you get hurt or when you get hit. Everybody will get hit. Everybody will get hurt. And ever since he said that, it made so much sense to me because kasi nung una takot na takot ako eh. Every time matamaan ako, I get startled. And I second guess myself. What did I do wrong? How come I got hit? But the thing is, if you accept it as a fact of fighting, that's inevitable, then it changes your whole mindset. If you get hit, you just keep on going. You just keep on going. And yun nga, like you guys have all been saying, this Franco said this, if you do, if you do your school right, your house right, then that's all you need. Diba? That's really all you need. But going back to winning, yun na nga, we talk about winning, ano ba yung winning? There's really no, unless there's a contest.
Alam na namin, Dax, gusto mong nananalo, tuwan-tuwa ka.
Actually, oh. But anyway, but the best winning experience that I've ever had was when after I was challenged, the person who challenged me said, he said, teach me. Okay. So he challenged me, but in the end, he wanted me to teach him. So para sa akin, parang okay, so that medyo mabigat to. This is like, why does he want me to teach him? Ibig sabihin, he saw something that I did or, whatever, that he wants to learn. And that was a very big compliment for me. And it was a very big moral booster. Kasi my ego needs a lot of boosting because I'm very low moral. Anyway, moving on.
Pero tsaka ano yun, pero yung ganong klaseng attitude.
By the way, just to add, that guy who challenged Dax, that guy and his friends are our friends now. So
oh yeah, no, but I'm talking about a different guy, not our friends, the other guy.
This is a different guy pala.
Kita mo, ganun karami yung nagcha-challenge kay Dax. Ganun karami.
Ganun ako kalabable. Hindi ko maintindihan. Ganun ako kalabable.
Hindi nila magugulpi ka. Pero anyway, ang ganda ng attitude ng kalaban. Ang ganda ng attitude ng kalaban mo.
Totoo.
Kasi ako nung may tinalo ako, no? Foreigner pa to eh. Imbis na it was a good fight, blah, blah, blah. Damn excuses eh. Oh, the night before, I did not sleep. Next time, we will fight again. Blah, 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 blah. Ang daming blah, 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 blah. Ako, when I lose, thank you. Thank you, I lost.
Right.
Ganun na, wala na ano.
Yung sagot ko dun sa kanya. Yes, he said, will you teach me? I want to learn. Ang sagot ko sa kanya, no, I will not teach you. You know why? Because I don't like the fact that you go around challenging people. It's wrong. That's the wrong way to do it, diba? But why would you go out and challenge people? That's not right. Anyway, moving on. Okay.
And to add down yan, kasi ito yun
naman pare, dahil yung ina-add eh. Oh, sige,
diba?
tuloy.
Kasi yun eh, pasok yan sa point ni Sixto eh. Tsaka sa, dun sa point na sinabi mo, dun ngayon lalabas why people train martial arts or why do people train any combat system, diba? There are people that will train this to show off. And then there are people who will
showing
train
off,
this
yes.
Because they want to train, they want to learn, they want to test themselves, diba? So the mere fact that your opponent said na, can you teach me, diba? There's a part of him that wants to learn, diba? Wants to learn and improve himself, versus yung sa kwento ni Doc na may mga natalo dahil hindi niya matanggap na his ego is so bloated that he couldn't accept the fact that he felt inferior against someone. Diba? Diyan lalabas lahat ng excuses ngayon.
Right. Okay, so next question naman. Okay, so kasi we're all teachers here and we have our students, no? How does it feel whenever as an instructor, as a trainer or a manager? How does it feel when your student or your ward has to fight, no? And how does it make you feel when they get hurt, when they lose, or when they win? Ano bang feeling natin when our students have to engage against or opponents or a tournament or whatever, or a real fight, whatever, but winning and losing your student? Franco.
I actually feel more nervous. I feel more nervous kasi when suddenly you realize that when you're holding class, it's you're sharing what you know. You're imparting you're imparting yourself to your students, and then they decide to join a tournament. Now they become an extension of yourself, diba? So once that happens and you see them there, iisipin mo ngayon. The reason why I'm very nervous for them is because ngayon, I have this certain level of responsibility na, okay, did I prepare them enough? Diba? It's responsibility and accountability. Did I prepare them enough? Did I give them the right tools, the proper instruction? Diba? Did I invest enough time and effort to train these people for this particular tournament? And at the same time, they gave you their trust. Diba? They trusted you with your instructions, knowing that it will make them win this tournament. So, iba yung kaba mo ngayon. I feel more nervous when I'm coaching rather than when I'm competing. Kasi when I'm competing, it's me. Whether I win or lose, that's on me. Now, when I'm coaching, if they win or they lose, that's on me. Diba? So, I feel very nervous for them, and when they win, I'm super happy, and I actually feel more accomplished when I see my students win rather than when I win. And then when they lose, I know it's hard for them. I always end up saying words of encouragement, pero honestly, when I go home, sinisisi ko rin yung sarili ko kasi there's a part of me that blames myself kasi inisip ko I should have probably done a little bit better. Should have, alam mo yun, yung typical na, siguro it's in my nature kasi I'd rather see myself lose than my students lose.
Right.
So, yun, I kind of put a little bit of pressure on myself, pero I take the lessons of that tournament, and diba, when we get back to the gym or when training resumes, it's always recap ko na nangyari, and these are the things that we could do next time, diba?
Right.
They won't have, I don't expect them to have the answers. Sorry. The answer should come from me. So I take it upon myself to do that. Hindi ako tulad ng ibang coaches na talo ka, kasalanan mo yan. I hate those coaches. As in, minsan, alam ko minsan mali, pero hindi ko napipigilan yung sarili ko pag meron ako nakikitang coach na natalo na yung estudyante tapos binubulyawan yung estudyante nila. As in, tinatapi ko yung coach, relax ka lang, umang ganyan. Diba? I mean, sabihin na nilang nangingialam ako, pero hindi. Kasi I feel for the student. Or, pagka ganon, I just tell the student, your coach means well for you. Hindi niya sinasadya yung sinabi niya. Pero ako, pakialamero. Pero pag may nakikita akong coach na ganon, inaano ko. Hindi ko naman siya hindi. I always tell my coach, relax lang tayo. Diba? May next tournament pa naman. Bawi na lang yung estudyante.
Ang babait ng mga taga-South compared sa taga-North, no?
Oh,
yes!
Yes! Enlightened guy. Enlightened.
Kasi, I don't know. It's mindset. Ako, for me, it's culture and mindset. I definitely, I've seen this so many times. Like, coaches scream at parang, don't give up. Why are you giving up? Diba? Parang, afterwards, parang, what the hell's wrong with you? You gave up on that sequence. Diba? Parang, whoa.
Okay.
Diba? Relax lang tayo. Pero yun nga. So, ako, when my students win, it's on them. But if my students lose, it's on me. That's how I view it. When they win, it's all on them. If they lose, it's on me. I take the blame for that.
Right. Alfred, ikaw. Although I highly disagree with what you said kasi mas maraming puno sa North kaysa sa South.
Ano ba? High school yata yan yung pinasukang high school eh.
How do you feel when your student or your ward loses or wins or even fights?
Well, to be honest, I have very, very few students because I don't like taking in a lot of students, like someone in this podcast. The very few ones that I've had, alam ko naman magaling sila, but the people that I've seen go to war are actually my teammates. Like si Dax, hindi ko naman mga masasabing student ko si Dax. Although,
Student mo ko pare.
I did facilitate him getting into the group because he joined a different group earlier.
I will never hear the end of it.
So he was...
Ilang years na kakilala? 10 years?
Yeah.
Sa ibang grupo sumali?
He was trying to talk me
Smart.
into the group. Pero, so yan, like seeing Dax spar, seeing Franco go to war so many times, seeing Chris Luna go to MMA fight so many times, I think I am more prone into getting into an actual brawl or street fight because my friend or my teammate lost. Kasi if I can fight their fight for them, if I can fight Dax's fight, if I can fight Franco's fight, I would. Ganun yung pakiramdam ko when I'm watching a student or a teammate fight. Siyempre, ayoko sila mapahamak. So kung kaya kong kunin sa kanila yung burden na yun, I would. And that's the only time that I actually think violent thoughts na putang ina, abangan ko tong gagong kalaban na tong kaibigan.
Sino yan?
No, but of course, all of those thoughts go away. Kasi syempre, hindi naman tayo gago, di ba? You start calming yourself down. But that's what that's how I feel. Even if it's not a fight, let's say someone says something bad about Sixto or Franco or Dax. If I could put my hands on them, I would. Medyo protective ako sa mga teammates ko saka sa mga estudyante ko. That's how I... Maybe wrong, but
Mabait ka talaga.
Ay talaga mga taga-South. Ito pang taga-South. Ito. Yeah. Sixto, isa pang taga-South. Anong say mo dyan?
Experience ko din, one sa FMA and sa let's say when I used to handle yung first MMA team ng Ilorde, actually, if they gave a good fight and the opponent did not cheat, talo after the fight, I would say, tara, uwi na tayo, pahinga na. Let's discuss it next training session. Ganun ka-cool ako sa nung fights. Si Nakaloy, si Gerson, there was a time, di ba? Yung sino naka-knockout sa kanya? Si Cyrus ba yun? Spinning back fist?
Yeah.
Si Cyrus daw. Yung taga-yaw yan.
Yeah.
Ngayon.
Si Gerson, kayang-kaya niya talunin yun. Pero wala di ba? In a fight, isang kilos na hindi mo na practice, biglang lumabas na lang. Tapos si Gerson, sir, gusto kong labanan siya ulit, rematch. Sabi ko, kalimutan mo na yan. Isipin natin yung sa championship, wala yan, champa yan. Ganun ka-cool ako eh. Yeah. Sa FMA, again, si Dax, si Alfred, when they were challenged, syempre may kaba ako, no? Ako sa akin, as long as they show a good fight. Di ba remember when you guys were challenged? Yung naman sinabi ko sa inyo just fight the way you were trained and give a good fight. Beyond that, syempre kung manalo kayo, yay, di ba? But ako basta, again, give a good fight. Nagagalit lang ako kung yung kalaban ng Daya, which happened in one of our duelo tournaments, di ba? Dax, were you there? Alfred, were you there?
Nadaya ka din ba doon, Dax?
Pare, 2 beses ako natalo, 2 beses din ako dinaya. But I remember that. Maganda yung kwento.
Anyway, kwento na yung kasi, it was a tournament format, di ba? So, no throws, no sweeps.
Oh, yeah.
Kasi
I was there.
Binalibag yung isang teammate natin. Di ba? Tumalon, ang bilis ko noon 20 meters, lumipad ako noon
English ka nun, galit na galit ka.
Oh, pare.
Oh yeah, English.
That was the worst that I've seen you, pare, so far.
Yeah. Galit
That
ka.
was the worst.
Kasi sa akin, if yung teammate natin natalo, fair and square, no problem. Kaso dinaya eh. Tapos Gina Joseph, doon talaga napikon ako nun. But, again, otherwise, kung it was a fair fight, wala problema. Ako, sa train na lang ulit. Next night, di ba? Medyo against stoic ako dyan. Pero again, if you win, no, may kaba rin ako, syempre, reflective sa, again, like Franco, what you said, di ba? Kasi it's reflective of you, if you're skilled din, eh. May kaba talaga. But, at the end of the day, basta show a good fight. That's enough for me.